Hey everyone, going to take a couple minutes to explain what you need to do to complete the Integrating Sources assignment this week. So first of all, you're going to want to go through the material in this week's module, especially the lesson on integrating sources. It will help tremendously with this assignment. It's going to be in a Word document, so I have attached the assignment sheet underneath the instructions box. You can use that as your template, or you can copy and paste it into another file format if you want. If you can't do a file submission, let me know and we'll figure out another way for you to submit the assignment. But what we're doing in this assignment is we're going to practice some of those skills that you need in order to start incorporating your source material effectively in your papers. So part one, we're going to practice with summary and paraphrase. Question one in part one, it says, below is a sample passage followed by 3 examples. See if you can identify which example is a summary, which example is a paraphrase, and which example inadvertently plagiarizes. And you'll type your answer under each passage. So the original passage is right underneath that in italics. Starts with Empire State College has a policy describing blah, blah, blah. So that's the original source material. We have 3 examples of how that source material has been used. Example A, example B, and example C. Out of A, B, and C, you have to figure out which one is a summary of the original source material, which one is a paraphrase, and which one inadvertently plagiarizes. Okay? Question 2, we are going to practice with creating a summary. There is a second file attached under the instructions box, and it is a Word document, and it's an article called More Chores, Fewer Allergies. It's relatively short. It's only 1 page. Not even a full page, I don't think. But you are going to read that article, More Chores, Fewer Allergies, that is attached under the assignment instructions. Read it a couple times to ensure that you fully understand the information in the article. It's from Times Kids, so it's not terribly difficult to understand. So I wanted to give us something that would be a little easier to work with just to get this practice. But you do want to read it a couple times to make sure that you fully understand the information in the article. And then after you've read it a couple times, maybe jot down a couple, what you think the main ideas are, and then close it out so that you can't see it. Then write a summary of the article and provide the citation for it. The information that you'll need to create the citation is in the file, in the article. Like I tell you the title of it, the author's name, the year it was published, all of that stuff. You don't need to create the reference entry for it necessarily, but you do want to think about how that reference entry would begin, right? So that you know what to put in the parentheses for your citation. So read the article, More Chores, Fewer Allergies. Read it a couple times, make sure you understand it, jot down the main ideas, close it out, and then type up a summary of that article. Remember again, a summary is just an overview of the main ideas. And provide the citation for it. Question 3, we're going to start practicing with paraphrasing. So I have a passage here in italics about the 20s, and we're talking about the 1920s, right? You're going to read that little passage that's in italics about the 1920s, and then you're going to provide a paraphrase and provide the citation. Use the 4-step process in the Integrating Sources PowerPoint to help you create the paraphrase correctly if you are unsure of how to do it on your own. Okay? But, so if you are comfortable with paraphrasing, you might not need to refer back to the PowerPoint. But if you are the slightest bit unsure, go back to the PowerPoint and use that 4-step process. Create a paraphrase for this passage in italics on the 1920s. Type out your paraphrase and give the citation. Number 4, same thing. There's a passage in italics about Sears Tower and architecture and skyscrapers. Read that passage in italics and then type up a paraphrase with a citation. Again, use the 4-step process if you need to. Question 5, a third one. There's a passage in italics about using bicycle helmets when you are riding a bicycle. Read that passage in italics, create a paraphrase, and provide the citation. Again, use the 4-step process. Part 2, we are going to practice with direct quotes. Now, this part is probably the most, I don't want to say complicated, but you have to really understand what I'm asking you to do here. So, here in part 2, you're going to see a paragraph that explains the benefits of having young children do chores. The first main idea of the paragraph says that doing chores is a good thing for kids because it equips them with skills for adulthood. This idea is discussed fully in the first part of the paragraph. The second main idea in the paragraph says doing chores is a good thing because it teaches kids about responsibility. This idea is fully discussed in the middle part of the paragraph. The third main idea in the paragraph is supposed to discuss how doing chores can help prevent kids from developing certain allergies, but this third main idea has not yet been discussed in the paragraph. It's missing. And you're going to see that because there's going to be lines where those sentences should be. You are going to fill in that missing main idea, and you're going to use a direct quote and citation in the process. So to do this, you'll need to go back to the article that you read for question 2 in part 1, more chores, fewer allergies, right? You're going to use a direct quote and proper citation from that article in order to create this paragraph's missing third main idea. So you have the topic sentence, right? Having parents implement daily, weekly chores benefits young children because it equips them with skills needed for life as adults, teaches them the importance of responsibility, and promotes better health and well-being. The first way chores benefit young children is it equips them with skills needed for life as adults. And then that's explained. And then it goes into how it teaches them responsibility, and that's explained. And then you see the lines there. You need to it says, finally, one of the most important and perhaps most surprising reasons we should implement chores for young children is that it can promote better health and well-being. So we transitioned into the third main idea, but then it's not discussed yet. So you now have to start talking about this idea that doing chores can help promote better health and well-being, specifically in terms of allergies, and then incorporate a direct quote from the article and provide the citation, and follow up on that quote. So here's your chance to practice incorporating and integrating a direct quote, leading off with your own ideas, then introducing the quote with your signal phrase, then providing the quote, giving the citation, and then following up on the quote. And then the ending of the paragraph is already written as well. You just need to fill in that third main idea. Not just the quote. Don't just choose a quote, plop it in, and think you're done. I'm asking you to develop the third main idea fully, which includes using a direct quote from the article. but not just the quote. You need to, we have the transition into that third main idea, so now you need to start focusing it in on allergies specifically, right? Start talking about how, you know, the health and well-being that you're going to focus on has to do with allergies. Then introduce the quote, citation, follow up on the quote, and explain it. Explain how it relates to that main idea. Explain how it relates to the overall main idea. So this is your chance to practice with that. Okay? All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. But again, remember, try going back to the material in the module first, especially the Integrating Sources lesson. See if that helps. And if you're still struggling with anything, by all means, please reach out to me. But again, take it seriously because this is a great chance to practice. And I'm going to give you feedback on it. I'm going to let you know how you did with your paraphrases, how you did with your citations, how you did with the direct quote, right? And that way you'll know that these might be things that you'll also need to watch out for and work on as you draft the research paper, okay? All right, so it's due Sunday at 11:59. Do your best, but I'm here if you have any questions.